Good morning. Good morning, Unity of the Keys. This morning, we are beginning a series of lessons where we are delving into unity in world religions. This morning, we're talking about finding unity in Hinduism. We're going to be looking at the 5 basic unity principles and discovering where they may be reflected in other faith traditions. I will be drawing heavily from a new publication called Unity in World Religions, written by Unity Minister Paul John Roach. Reverend Roach is a native of Wales and has been a Unity minister since 1988. That's 34 years. I bow to him. So finding unity in world religions. You might ask yourself, or you might ask me, why? Why do we want to do that? Well, that is a most excellent question. And the answer is truly quite simple. Unity. The more we find our commonalities in the world, the easier it is for us to recognize our oneness with the world and in the world. Remember, Charles Fillmore, co-founder of the Unity movement, and Myrtle, his wife, always said that they had not created anything new, but instead had discovered teachings already present in the world. Myrtle Fillmore said, when talking about her own healing, and I quote, "I want everybody to know about this beautiful, true law and to use it. It is not a new discovery, but when you use it and get the fruits of health and harmony, it will seem new to you and you will feel that it is your own discovery." Charles also said, "We have studied many isms, many cults." I think maybe cults had a different definition back then. People of every religion under the sun claim that we either belong to them or have borrowed the best part of our teachings from them. We have borrowed the best from all religions. That is the reason we are called unity. That is the reason we are called unity. We are not seeking a syncretism, trying to merge different religions, cultures, or schools of thought. This is not an amalgamation. This is rather a celebration of diversity and a celebration of our commonalities. For that desire to seek connection, to find some element of sameness or familiarity is evident within us as humans. Perhaps it is a seeking to find comfort. Maybe it's to establish safety. Whatever is at its source, it is one of the finest parts of ourselves, our seeking to connect with others. Let's say you are in conversation with a stranger. You begin talking with them because you're a friendly person and you enjoy meeting people and connecting with them. You share, they share, you share, they share. And somewhere in that sharing, you find a source of commonality. "Oh, you're from Utah. My sister used to live in Salt Lake City." Or, "Oh, you just got back from a trip to Spain. I visited Spain once." Or, "My cousin went to that university." Or even, "Oh, I've always wanted to go there." You find a connection, something to link yourself to that person. And when you do, you are delighted. We might refer to this as a small world. We often say that it's such a small world after we talk to someone and we find our connections. More recently, this person-to-person connection has been referred to as 6 degrees of separation. The idea that all people are 6 or fewer social connections away from one another. And as a result, a chain of friend of a friend of a friend statements can be made to connect any 2 people in a maximum of 6 steps. The world has become increasingly more secular in the last few decades. However, religion remains an integral part of many people's lives. It's reported that 84% of the world's population identifies with a religious group. That was surprising to me, 84%. Well, religions differ greatly on the surface when looking at the various practices, rituals, traditions, and the relationships with or approaches to God or the divine. And we explore each one, we find commonalities. Aldous Huxley, who was an English writer and philosopher in the early to mid-1900s, was widely acknowledged as one of the foremost intellectuals of his time. He was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature 9 times. Huxley was a pacifist who grew interested in philosophical mysticism and universalism, addressing these subjects in a work called The Perennial Philosophy, and that was published in 1945. And it illustrates the commonalities between Western and Eastern mysticism. And he called those commonalities perennial philosophy. While our Marianne Davis in her recent talk referred to primal faith. And I believe that these two descriptors are closely linked. It is that golden thread or that mystical understanding, a direct intuitive awareness of truth, truth with a capital T, truth that is not confined by any religion or faith tradition. It is something that you believe deeply, deeply within your soul. It's a knowing. It's an inner knowing that you don't know how you know, but you do. It's that golden thread, that divine connection. Myrtle and Charles Fillmore were also seekers of a deeper meaning. Myrtle came from a strict Methodist background, and Charles was a combination of really no formal church education, growing up on Native American land, and later sometimes accompanying his mother to the Presbyterian church. But they both knew the Bible. They both knew Scripture. And Myrtle and Charles were on a mission to find that deeper meaning. They studied many works. They studied the works of Emma Curtis Hopkins and Warrenfeld Evans and many, many others. They were both present for the very first gathering of the Parliament of World Religions in Chicago in 1893. And this gathering was an attempt to create a global dialogue of faiths. Charles especially was intrigued by both the Hindu and the Buddhist teachings. And so we begin our exploration today with finding unity in Hinduism. And as we delve in here, we are reminded that there is no one singular Hinduism. There are Hinduisms, just as there are Buddhisms. Within this broad umbrella, there are many varying beliefs and practices, and we see this clearly in Christianity, under whose umbrella we fall. We vary in our beliefs and practices from Baptist and Methodist and Episcopalians, Catholics, unity, and on and on. So instead, there are multiple Christianities. This same truth applies to other faith traditions as well. So I will be using a very broad brush to paint these pictures. Hinduism is widely believed to be the world's oldest religion. No one knows the exact origin or age of this faith tradition. Many set the date around 2500 of before the Common Era or earlier. There are some scholars that claim it can be traced back 5,000 BCE. That's well over 7,000 years ago. Today, Hinduism is the third largest religion, with the vast majority of the world's Hindus living in India. The Hindu religion is a blend of multiple philosophies, ideas, practices, and beliefs. It is said that there are over 33 million gods and goddesses in Hinduism. 33 million. Yet each is but a facet of the one true God. The Hindu mystic Ramakrishna summarized it this way: God is formless, but takes many forms. God is formless, but takes many forms. Indians themselves do not refer to their beliefs as Hinduism. That term was a Western creation, attempting to label and better understand their set of beliefs. They call themselves Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, which translates as the eternal truth or the eternal way, just as early Christians called themselves followers of the way. The eternal way is eclectic and multi-dimensional. There are at least 6 main schools of philosophy and numerous sects. Each finds its roots in the ancient text called the Vedas, which means knowledge, and later texts such as the Upanishads. The Upanishads offer radical insights into the profound and immediate connection between God and humans. Just as Jews and Christians find roots in their Bible, Hindu roots are in the Vedas. We both honor sacred texts and find strength and guidance and wisdom within the written word. So where are our similarities? Where is unity in Hinduism? Well, we see God as the one presence and one power, everywhere present as our first principle. Most Hindus would subscribe to the concept of panentheism, God in everything, everything in God. From a unity perspective, each of the Hindu gods represents a divine idea or expression of the one God, just as we refer to as the 12 powers as being expressions or attributes of the one God. The Upanishads speak to the understanding that humankind, in essence, is one with the ultimate divine. Well, that's unity's second principle, that the essence of God is within us, and this is affirmed over and over in Hinduism. Our third unity principle, I create, that our thoughts have power, and we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Well, in Hinduism, we see the reference to karma. Karma is a term about the cycle of cause and effect. Or according to the theory of karma, what happens to a person happens because they caused it to happen. And the power of consciousness is paramount in determining karma and therefore our life experiences. The Upanishads speak to the formative power of focused intention and thought. Our fourth unity principle is I pray and I meditate. Many observe that meditation is one of India's gift to humanity. For meditation did not become well known or popular until the 1800s in the US. Each Indian teacher, guru, or master offers practices from their own tradition or sect, yet each one emphasizes the centrality of prayer and meditation. We learned the power of the sacred word Om. This is the word of words, the essence of their spiritual practice and awareness for Hindus, a sacred mantra. Hindus also incorporate ritual gestures. We're familiar with the greeting of the palms together, in greeting and respect, often using the salutation namaskar or namaste. This is a Hindu practice. And lastly, our fifth unity principle, I act. I must live the truths I know out loud. In Hinduism, the philosophical, the practical, and the devotional often nest together. It's a way of life. In karma yoga, the yoga of concentrated action, is very much our fifth unity principle. Some Hindu-based communities are a seamless combination of study, devotion, and sacred service, love in action. A community may feed and accommodate all who come without charge. And the giving of alms is a common practice in Hinduism for cultivating generosity. Hindu scriptures also teach that every living thing is sacred, and honoring and protecting nature is inherent in Hindu consciousness. We are more alike than it appears on the surface. If turned around, if Hindus were looking for Hinduism within unity, it would be very easy to find. We honor our brothers and sisters and their traditions of faith. We will look next in a couple of weeks into finding unity in Buddhism. In the time in between, let us each continue to find unity expressed in our lives as us, as we live and move and have our being. And so it is. And so it is.